Good afternoon, Mr. Emmanuel Adile. How are you doing today? Mr. Emmanuel Olukade Adile, how are you doing? It's a pleasure having you here. You are the only one here since people are late, not really sure why. They might probably be babysitting their trades, not really sure. But notwithstanding, as you are here, we're going to do, okay, I can see more people are joining now. Okay, great. So notwithstanding, we're going to do the usual, but this time around, we don't have that much time to play with, right? Because we're behind on schedule and you are just coming in. So we're going to just jump straight into what we have for you today. First of all, hope the audio is good to go. Hope you can hear me loud and clear, right? So today we're going to be looking at the weekly market roundup. How was the week? Hope you can hear me, guys. Please kindly confirm by typing in the chat section that you can hear me. Let me get confirmation from you that the audio is loud and clear, that it is good to go. I'm going to wait for your feedback on that. Is the audio loud and clear? Is it good to go? Right. So I'll wait for your feedback on that. The weekly market roundup is what we're going to be discussing. And we're going to look at a few instruments. You can also let us know the instruments that you traded this week and how the week was for you. Thank you, Mr. John Adebayo said, yes, sir. Thank you. So I have that confirmation that the audio is good. Okay, great. Now, also, how was trading for you this week? We're doing a market roundup, and I always say at the end of every week, it's always good for you to do a review, right? More or less, the week is going to be rounding up in a few hours from now, in about 8 hours plus, if I'm not mistaken, right? Maybe about 8.5 hours. So how was the week for you? And then also note that daylight saving will be upon us. So that means that instead of the market opening by 11 p.m. Nigerian time, to start opening by 10 p.m. Nigerian time. So there's going to be that 1 hour shift, right? So how was the market? How was trading for you? Which trades did you take? Right? It's always good for us to communicate, especially as we're not much today. So we're not much today. We're going to go straight to the point, give you the necessary information. You ask questions, let us know how we can help you out. And then we call it a day. Today is Friday, TGIF. It's still obviously a new month. Today is the 3rd of March. And next week, we will be having the non-farm payroll, which has to do with the unemployment to the US, the non-farm payroll. Okay, so no comment on how your trading was. You're welcome to the other person that just joined us, I am Uchechuku. So this was a trade here, or rather this is a chart here that I noticed this morning, and this is the Bitcoin, right? From yesterday's live trading session, somebody asked about the Bitcoin, and we looked at it a bit from 2 angles, right? From the hourly and then also from the daily time frame, right? So this was a daily time frame, and you should be able to see the reason why it dropped, right? You should see the reason why it dropped over here, because it got to this area here of resistance that has acted as resistance in the past, and of course acted as support in the past. So look at what is happening now. It's more or less approaching this area here, right? So we have a little area here in between a major area. So you need to always pay attention to your chart. Everything is on your chart. And then this is the daily time frame, right? Guys, look at this quickly because I'm seeing in some growth here and there. Okay, no, today is not NFP. So I'm going to switch over to the calendar and then show you, right? I'll switch over to the calendar and show you, right? Just a second. So this is the daily time frame, and this is what we have over here. And on the daily time frame, you can also notice that this is a downtrend, right? So obviously, it's a downtrend on the higher time frame. That is, the sellers are not yet done with the market. Only until we have a few resistance areas failing, then it starts to build momentum to the upside, right? Someone was here yesterday and I was asking about the difference between volatility and momentum. If you were not here, volatility is simply that explosive movement when something is volatile, is that explosion. And then when you say something is on the momentum, is like a build up, a continuous build up in a particular, direction. At the end of the day, trading is strictly all about the directional bias. But here was the the hourly time frame for the Bitcoin. And if you look very well, this was where the Bitcoin dropped. Well, as the Bitcoin dropped over here, right, you can see this big candle, right? Look at this big candle here. I noticed that in a few groups, right, like I'm in a couple of groups on Facebook, different places and all, I noticed that people were complaining that, oh, they got injured and all. But then at the end of the day, you most likely should not be buying around here, right? Because it's in no man's land. If you ask me, it's in no man's land. Because here, if you look to the left-hand side, we have here as resistance, we have here as support, and it didn't even get here for support. But then it was in the middle of nowhere. That means that you are not going to be buying and you are not going to be selling. You're going to do absolutely nothing. And then lo and behold, if you're looking forward to buying here, with the way this big candle went all the way, it did what? It destroyed this area where you might have had buyers. And well, if you notice, we always say it's always best to wait for the price reaction, then trigger to enter. But there was nothing here. And then it smashed through this area and stalled over here. Why did it stall over here? Keep on looking to the left. You can see the support here. So this is the reason why it stalled here. So always pay attention to your levels. I always tell traders, once you can walk around your support and resistance, and then you start to see how it reacts to your drawings, your markings, to your mappings, right? It's now start to build more and more confidence in you, right? You would start to understand the market better. You start to know where more or less the market should give you a reaction, which means that where it should give you a reaction should be where you should be looking forward to entering the market to sell or to buy, depending on what you are trying to do. Remember, we said it's all about the directional bias, right? Directional bias being the trend. If it's an uptrend, then our bias is for buying. If it's a downtrend, then our bias is for selling, right? And then if it's a sideways market, then of course there is no bias whatsoever because it is more or less equal, right? So hope you understand what we just said now. I'm going to switch over to the calendar. As Mr. Ayin said, is today not for NFP news? And then I said, no, today is not for NFP news, but rather it is next week. We'll switch over to the calendar now, and we're going to look at that together, right? So let me just quickly switch over to the calendar. Please, if you have any question, feel free to ask, right? Remember, you guys came in a bit late. Somebody just joined us now, and then we don't have that much time, right? Because of other engagements. So not sure why you guys came late. Probably you were watching your trades. And once again, we'd like to know, how has your trading been this week? That's why it's called the weekly market roundup. Let's know how the week was. What mistakes did you make? So we can look into them now. Did you place a trade and then it went against you? Did you place a trade, it went in your favor, but then it did not hit your take profit? Let us know so we can look at it together and try to figure out maybe what you missed. Maybe you overlooked something at the end of the day. So here is the calendar, as you can see, and today is Friday, March 3rd. You can see today only, that is by 4 p.m., 1.5 hours from now, we have for the dollar, ICM services PMI. This is not the non-farm payroll. The non-farm payroll, which has to do with the unemployment, is coming up next week, Friday. And we can click here forward to look at the calendar for next week. You can see this week is February 26th to March 4th. So we click forward, let's see what we have. Forward now we have more or less March 6th all the way to February, March 10th. Good. So if you look very well now, Mr. Aim, can you see this is for the non-farm here? As we said, it has to do with the unemployment rate. This is the non-farm payroll, which is coming out next week, right? Oh, sorry, I need to refresh this. Now, if you look very well, my timing is off. It's reading 8:30 a.m. for that next week. Or meanwhile, it's meant to be about 2:30 a.m. Let me refer, 2:30 p.m. Sorry, not a.m. It's meant to be 2:30 p.m., which is New York time. The 8:30 a.m. This website, as you can see, at times you need to refresh it for your own time zone, or you click here where you have the time, click on the time, and then it gives you the ability to change the time based on your time zone, right? So this is my own time zone here, and that's why I had to refresh it for it to adjust itself. Okay, so this is the non-farm payroll. Yes, it's meant to be the first Friday of every month, but at times, because if the month is too close, if the beginning of the month is too close to that Friday, it now moves to the proper Friday, the next Friday that is. All right, this is something that you notice once in a while, and that's why we always say that you need to be checking the calendar. You need to check the calendar. If you notice something in our discussion from our slides, we always mention one particular thing, right? And I'm going to try to pop up to that thing just to show you that everybody understands better how to look at the market. Because when you're looking at the market, you don't say, oh, I thought. No, we don't think. We use proper information. And that's why, if you remember, I believe you guys already have this information. If you do not, you could write it down, or you could do a screenshot of it, right? So that you always are well prepared. It's all about being prepared. You have an exam, you must have read for it, meaning that you have prepared yourself down for it, and you should not be surprised, right? So look at it now. First thing to do is to always check for upcoming news every morning. Check for upcoming news, right? And by the time you do this, like what Mr. Aim said, you are thinking that it was today, first Friday, but then at times it happens in the next Friday, right? The same thing for the likes of the FOMC, the Federal Open Market Committee, right? It's usually around like the second, third Wednesday of the month, right? But look at it very well. It could come probably at a different time. So you don't say this is it, and this must be it. No, that's like trading as well. When you place a trade, you don't say this is a support, this is what's going to happen. You must be able to, look for reasons why not to trade. Look for, meaning that you are doing further research. It's all about research at the end of the day, right? So I hope this is okay for you, Mr. Aim. We're going to cross back to the charts now and then continue with what we have for you based on this week's trading and all. And also, as you can see, we have somebody else here. We have Chikwado Bright. Not sure that you're joining us for the first time. You're welcome. Now, if you look at this now, right, yesterday during our live trading session, we talked about this particular trade, Euro GPY, and then I mentioned that it was opportune to buy from this point, and then the market went up in my favor, as you can see. So as the market went up in my favor, we said for what we're expecting next, right? Because it got to this area of resistance, we said only if resistance, and you can also call this a double top based on this here. We said only if you are a counter trend trader, you'll probably be looking forward to selling here, right? And you can see if you have sold here as a counter trend trader, you must always know the type of trader that you are. That's one key thing, meaning that for you to know the type of trader that you are, you must have a trading plan. I repeat, you must have a trading plan. In our beginner session, we normally talk about the things that you need to have that would help you to be, well prepared, that will help you follow a particular procedure of trading. A trading plan is going to help you to be organized. It's going to help you to be disciplined. And that's what we normally say all traders should have. So either you're a counter trend trader or you're a trend trader, it's your choice. But then I said, I am a what? I am a trend trader. So you can see the trend is up over here. So personally, I would love for price to get back to this area here, right? So maybe this obviously might not be today. Who knows, right? But if it's not today, then we look forward to next week. I can see we're looking at that area because here it's acting as support and then it pushed higher here. You can see here it's acting as resistance and pushed lower. Here too, it acted as resistance and pushed lower as well. So this is the area to watch. So we are looking for price to come to this area and then give us a trigger for us to buy and then take it back up to this place here, right? So that's what we are expecting. Now, somebody said something now, and that's Mr. Aim said, my network, I'm not hearing you. Please, guys, for the rest of us that are here, if you can hear me, okay, it seems Aim has even gone out, so probably truly his network is not, the best today. And I believe you guys can hear me loud and clear as well. And, we always say, I always advise people that when it comes to trading, you must have good enough tools. You must have backup for your tools, meaning that ensure that you have more than one internet provider, right? For me, I have at least 2 internet providers, right? Just in case of anything. I wouldn't want to place a trade, and when I'm about to set the stop loss, something happens and then I'm in the trade without stop loss. I can't even check on what's happening. No, that is me personally. So hopefully Ayim Ochichukwu comes back on time, and I can see maybe 1 or 2 other people seem to be going in and out. Your internet, as we just said as well. So this is what we're looking out for in this market. So let's see how we can take advantage when if the price gets to this point, because even from here, it might just turn back up, who knows, right? So this is how you look at the market and then see how you can take advantage of the market. Other instruments, euro odd, look at this one here. We talked about this as well, and you can see it hits this area here of support. You can see what we have here. If you look very well, always look to the left-hand side when you're trying to do your markings. It hit here, but we don't have a trigger. For me, I don't have a trigger, and that trigger, we've talked about the trigger before, where we have those price action candlesticks patterns, the likes of the bullish engulfing for buying, the bearish engulfing for selling, the bullish pin bar, also known as the bullish hammer for buying, and then the bearish hammer, bearish pin bar for selling, right? So we don't have any of this here for buying. So for buying, it's going to be bullish, whether it's the bullish pin bar, bullish hammer, or bullish engulfing, right? We don't have any of that here. So we're going to wait and see whether the price could still come back again and then give us the proper candle and then take us higher, right? So it's all about patience at the end of the day. One thing you also need to note is that price could easily get to your area of interest, might not give you a trigger, might not give you your own reason for entry, but they might go in your favor. If that happens, smile. Why are you smiling? Because you mapped out your charts appropriately and then the price reacted to it. Don't forget that it is not just you in the market, it's not just me in the market, it's not just retail traders. We have those institutional traders, those in the banks, in the prop firms. We have those even individuals, high network individuals that are trading with good volume, right? As you're trading with good volume, you are now being able to see how price is moving, because it is the heavy amounts that actually move the market. We can't move the market with our $100 account balances all combined together, right? So if we're seeing all of these things, it is now giving you that confidence. It should now give you that confidence that yes, indeed, you are seeing what this you could call them the professional money, you could call them the smart money. You are seeing what they are saying, and then before you know it, you can start to trade like them. So we need to also change our thought process when it comes to trading. Make sure that you first of all understand the market. The understanding is number one. Once you understand the market, then you should be able to take advantage of the market, because now you're seeing it from a different perspective. You're understanding what these guys are looking at, and then you can take advantage of it, right? So a few more instruments that we could look at, and if you have anyone that you want us to also look at as well, do let us know. We have the dollar yen. We talked about all of these ones yesterday, more or less, because it's the same ones that I normally watch. I watch majorly the majors, all the majors that we have. I watch gold, I watch Bitcoin, and then I watch EJGJ, that's Euro JPY, Pounds JPY, Euro odd, Pounds odd, and a few others. I arrange them in a particular order for me to be able to always remember what I'm trading, right, or what I'm watching. So if you look at what we had over here yesterday, We talked about USDJPY, and if you want to buy here, you can see clearly it is what? It is an uptrend from what we can see here, clearly, right? As an uptrend, we looked at, oh, this is support here. Will you want to buy here? I said, no, this is not a good place to buy. Why? Because it is too close to the area where you're going to take your profit. And of course, these guys are seeing the same thing. The smart money, the professional money, they're saying the same thing. And they have already said that this is too close, right? They want good profit. Because look at these guys. They're trading with like millions and millions of dollars. As they are doing that, they could easily be risking like 1% or something, a very small percentage. But that small percentage is heavy at the end of the day, right? So they wouldn't want to do something where they're just going for a small amount or, based on the risk to reward ratio. They go for the nice, clean, big trades. That's why we said something earlier, like here, and this is earlier being yesterday, if you were with us yesterday, and if you were not, we're saying it now. And then if you also want to let us know the trades that you took this week, let's look at them together. Let's know the issues that you had so that we can look at them together. Now, there's an advice I normally give traders, and that is every weekend, I repeat, every weekend should be used apart from resting, right? Don't just rest and then rest and rest and rest, or don't just rest and party, have fun, but take out some time to conduct market review. Review the market for the week. What happened during the week? Which trades did I take? Which trades didn't I take? What happened when I took the trade? What happened when I did not take the trade? Learn from there, and then you start to see things better. So this one we said, yeah, resistance, resistance, resistance. It didn't quite get here to support. So now we're waiting for price to come back to this area. And you can see it is dropping. It might get there today. It might not get there today. I don't know, right? So look at it now. When it does get there, hopefully it is a when and not if, because from here the market could just turn around. But when it gets there, if it gets there, this is where I'll be looking forward to this area here. I'm looking forward to this area for a buy trigger and then to take it back up, right? To take it back up. Okay, I have somebody saying something. As I said, is other blocks some as, please, if you're going to ask a question, I need to understand it. We all need to understand it. I'm not the only one seeing your question. He said, is other blocks same as institutional candle? Other block, I'm not really a user of the other blocks and BOC and some other church or another style of trading that some ICT traders use and all. But what I normally say, right, when it comes to others, like other block as you mentioned, I want to believe that it is even similar to what we're talking about. So I'm going to explain. When it comes to other block, right, you could have an area here, right, that we have just mentioned now. I'm just going to do some markings here on the area of interest because everything is on the chart and people look at it differently. As you look at it differently, it is still the same thing at the end of the day. So you can be looking at it based on other blocks or whatever. So look at over here. When it comes to orders has to do with like pending orders. What type of pending orders do you think are over here? What type of pending orders do you think are over here? You have the buy pending orders, right? Buy pending orders. And when we say these buy pending orders, we're talking about traders from all over the world, right? Those are more or less saying the same thing. They place some buy orders here at this block. I want to believe this is the block explanation. So they place some buy orders here. So the orders are patiently waiting here. And you could also go and look into order flow and stuff that has to do with orders. So you have orders that are here. And one thing about orders, it's like a magnet. It's a magnet to price. The more orders that are here, right, the stronger the magnetic pull. I repeat, the stronger the magnetic pull is to the orders. The stronger the magnetic pull is to the orders. So the price is attracted to those orders. So you could do that. It's still based on support resistance because everything at the end of the day is still a formation, right, of support resistance, which is obviously based on supply and demand. That's why we have different traders trading differently, but it's still more or less the same thing, right? You have supply demand. Supply and demand is also looked at differently from support and resistance, but you would have thought they're the same thing. So whether it's order block you're using, whether it's supply and demand or support and resistance, or whatever the case might be, just make sure you understand your area of interest. Your area of interest would always be the same, right? No matter what you want to talk about, or no matter what you want to, whatever instrument you are trading on. Or okay, so someone says you should take a look at Bitcoin. We've already done that. We've looked at the Bitcoin, right? So you could watch the recording again. And if there's time, we could look at the Bitcoin again. But I want to talk about a few more instruments. You can see I'm talking about the instruments that I am looking at personally, right? And we want your own feedback as well. So if I look at, or if we show you what we are looking at, and there's still time, then we can look at the Bitcoin again for Mr. Bola Hoshon. And as I said, you can watch the recording. And you said, can you take a look at Bitcoin and let's see what your midterm view is? That's me, my midterm. When you say midterm, right, I believe that is like a higher time frame projection, right? And that's not a problem. We did that earlier on the daily time frame, right? So we can as well do that again. But then let me just quickly flip over and then let's look at a few more instruments. Oh, since I have AUD USD drawn twice here. Okay, no worries. You can see what we have here on the AUD USD is also approaching this area here where you would like to sell. So wait for price to get there. This one most likely might get there today. And you know we have news coming out in the next 1 hour, 13 minutes, right? We have news coming out in the next 1 hour, 13 minutes. Some of us, our internet is still in and out, signing you out and bringing you back in. Let's have more than one internet provider. Or you could also try location, maybe move closer to the window or whatever the case might be, right? Euro USD, right? This is Euro USD over here. We said something yesterday that it's set to get a bit messy. If you look over here, here was support, but if you look here, resistance, we had a big breach over here after the test. You can see it struggled. Can you see the struggle? When you see the struggle over here, you see candles moving sideways. So we had the struggle here, and then look at what happened now. Look at what's happening now. This candle has pushed higher. As this candle has pushed higher, can it get to this point here? Because this is also a significant area here, right? So this is Euro USD. And you can see we're doing this more or less on like the intraday stroke swing time frame, which is H1, right? H1 is easily used for the intraday day trading, and then also easily used for swing trading, right? Higher time frame analysis, right? So let's look at gold. And if nobody has any question, then we'll look at the Bitcoin. Guys, we asked questions earlier, but nobody answered our questions. Not really sure why. 10 Trade wants to help you out, but it seems you don't want to be helped. And the question we asked again, let me ask it again. Maybe your internet was down, or maybe you did not hear me. We said, how was your trading? Was your trading good? Was it bad? Was it fair? Was it normal? Was it terrible? Or you did not trade? Let us know which of the categories your trading was this week. And let's also know the instruments that you traded. Let's know the problems that you had. Let's look into it together, and then we can help you out. Thank you, Mr. Bolon, who said it's fair. It was fair. Okay, good. So it was fair. It means that it was not good. It was not bad. Because fear is more or less in the middle, if you ask me, right? Okay, so let me clean this up and then let's look at the gold. That's what's happening with the gold. Gold, I want to believe, should be going higher, right? Okay, great. You can see gold is going higher from the last time I checked, right? Last time I checked, we had it hit this area here of resistance and then hit this area here of support, but it was to the downside, as you could see, but it looks as if the trend might be changing, right? The reason why I said the trend might be changing is because now in the market, something normally happens, right? When a new candle is formed, it tends to move the data to the left-hand side out of the screen. We keep on having new data form here, as it's forming here, new data forming here. The old data tends to go away from the screen. But then if you look at what we have here, it seems we're having a new fresh wave. Price tends to move in waves. Let me clean this up so it's not a bit too messy. Price tends to move in waves. And as you can see how it's moving here in waves in this manner, right? As you can see how it's moving in waves in this manner. It is now a thing of what? It's now a thing of understanding, is this a trend change or is it just a pullback? This is something that a lot of traders need to also study. If you ask me, it is beginning to look like a trend change. Why did I say that? It has neglected this area after this worked. It neglected it here, neglected this area here as well. If you look very well, neglected this one. So more or less, it might be heading back to this top. If it gets to this top here, then of course the information would have changed drastically. The types of markets you could have could either be an uptrend market and a downtrend market or a sideways market, right? So you can see this one is gradually beginning to look dirty from this time frame. This is 1 hour time frame. You might switch over to another time frame and it's giving you a different perspective. And an example, let's just assume we switch over to 15 minutes. 15 minutes, if you ask me, right, might just cover this area, might cover majority this area. So let's switch over to 15 minutes and see how that looks like. This is 15 minutes here. Let's see, beautiful. You can see 15 minutes look nice and beautiful to the upside. This is the concept of how to look at time frames, right? How to look at the market from different time frames. Different time frames will give you different interpretation, different views of the market, and then it will be for you to be able to understand it and make something out of it. So this is a nice clean uptrend. But then don't forget, you are now on the 15 minutes time frame. That means that your day trading stroke swing trading style has now changed to more or less a scalper or maybe even an intraday, right? More or less a scalper or intraday. You can see what we have over here. Here is a place to buy, to take it up, but I don't like this place. It's too close to the profit area. So you could look forward to price getting to this point here. You can see resistance, a bunch of support here, a bunch of support here, right? And then price getting here, look for buy opportunities to take it back up. So always mark your chart based on your support, your resistance, your supply, your demand, based on the order block, right? Based on order flow, and a whole lot of other things that you are using, right? Whether it's even Fibonacci or it's moving averages, whatever the case may be, make sure you understand your chart, because I can tell you for a fact that as we're all here, more or less, we have different trading strategies. And then we would always say that there is no trading strategy that is 100%. I repeat, there is no trading strategy that is 100%. Strategies tend to work and then tend to fail at different instances, right? They tend to work and then they tend to fail at different instances at the end of the day. Okay, so with that said, I think we can probably look at the Bitcoin for Mr. Bolahon, who asked for a view. He asked for, let's see what your midterm, that's me. He wants to have an idea of my own view of the Bitcoin, no problem. I'll show you my own view from the daily time frame. And of course, if possible, we can always switch time frames on all to look at the market. As you can see, we can switch time frames. If you're switching time frames, it should always give you. Now look at this over here. This is the 4 hours time frame. 4 hours time frame is up. The daily time frame is down. So no matter what you are doing, make sure you have a good enough understanding. Because I always tell traders that 2 traders could be in the same trade. One trader could be buying and another trader could be selling, and both of them the same instrument, and both of them clicked on buy and sell at the same time. It means that both of them could make money because they're looking at it from different perspective, right? They're looking at it from different perspective, and then as looking from different perspective, one could be in and out within a short period of time. That could be easily a scalper stroke a day trader, while the other person could be looking at it from the swing position trader perspective. That means that you're looking forward to holding the trade for a much longer period of time. So you need to understand these things, and then of course it's going to help you out tremendously. So this is the daily. So let's look at the daily. So as we said earlier, I'm just going to breeze through this quickly, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. From the daily, you can see first things first, it's a downtrend. As a downtrend, you're interested in selling, and as you want to sell, here is support from the past, resistance, and then you can see here it didn't quite get to this resistance area. You can see, but then we got to this resistance here, and you can see it more or less hits this line. Remember now we're using a line, but then we always say it is an area, a level, or a zone. So you can as well use like a rectangle. So the rectangle will cover that area much better. So you can see that this area was well tested, right, on the pullback, and you can see where it is going to. Ideally, right, this is Bitcoin. If you're in any Bitcoin groups, because I know there are a lot of Bitcoin groups, crypto groups, strictly only cryptos, if you notice something, they would be now they've changed their bias from longs and they're saying it's going to crash, going to crash. I'm not saying it's going to crash, it's not going to crash. It's all about knowing your areas. And once you know your areas, you wait for price to react to them, right? And I look over here, for me, without a doubt, price should, I'm not saying would, there's a difference, should and would are different. Price should get to this point here because of what has happened in the past. From here, support, resistance, resistance. If you go move over to the left-hand side, you'll probably be able to see something. But ideally, I would like to see the price get to this area, to this particular area on the daily, that is, on the daily here, it is around the 18,500 level. And then the price should then finally get here, 15. So if it gets to this area of 15,500, right? A lot of traders last year, because of the way the market was tanking, they were calling for, I think 10K, 8K, but there's a level there on the higher time frames. Where you can see, obviously, the market is not just going straight there, it's taking its time. It's on a pullback, right? It's on a pullback from what we can see. And this pullback was from like the October period up till now. So this pullback now, you can see it has pulled back to this area of interest, resistance, and then maybe it might drop back down to here. So this is from the daily time frame. Don't forget, when you say midterm view, I will ask for you to explain what you mean by midterm, but this is it from the daily time frame. And we could also look at this from the 4 hours, depending on how you're looking at it, what time frame. This is the 4 hours. Look at the 4 hours, you can see clearly it's an uptrend, right? As an uptrend here, you can see it is now moving closer to this area of resistance support. So this might be a good one here for you to go in on longs and take it back up. So anyhow you're looking at it, right, just make sure that you do the needful, you map out your chart, you wait for a reaction, because it might give you a reaction here and it might not give you a reaction, right? So you wait for a reaction, it gives you a reaction, then wait for your trigger to pull the trigger and then push it higher. No matter what the case is, it is a good trade because the distance from here to here is a pretty far one, assuming you enter at this point here. Your stop loss will probably be somewhere low here, right? So you must also know where to set your stop loss and take profit appropriately. Okay, I think I have 1 or 2 comments here. Let me just quickly read them up. Mr. John said, I lost on gold this morning. Oh, wow, you lost on gold this morning. Okay, let's quickly look at the gold this morning. This is gold here. So that means that you are probably trying to sell. You're probably trying to sell. What time frame were you looking at it on the gold, number one? What time frame were you looking at it? Because if you ask me, if you were trying to sell, I repeat, if you're trying to sell on this gold, most likely it should have been at this area here, right, this morning. And if it was this area here, probably you are selling around here. And based on this 15 minutes, that's what I'm just using to explain this. That means that you would have been a counter trend trader because the trend clearly is to the upside. That means that you must have been going against the trend from this time frame. You can see when this place failed to hold as resistance, it broke out, pulled back to that area, and seems to be holding as support now. So that area that you map out could also still be very, very useful. Most people, when they map out the charts and that area fails, they ignore it, they delete it, they clean up the chart. But that chart, obviously, price tends to act as a flip zone. A flip zone is where if price should, what's the name? If price should fail as a resistance, then that resistance should turn to a support. If price should fail as a support, then that support should turn to a resistance. Okay, so you said you lost on gold, and we have a comment. Let me read it from Chikwadu Bright. I have greatly learned a lot from market this week. That's good. Every day we learn, most especially patience. Of course, patience, as we always say, patience is a virtue. Patience is something that nobody can teach you at the end of the day. There are things that you could implement that could help your patience level. At the end of the day, patience is something that you have to work on yourself, right? Where you patiently wait. It's not about waiting. That's what patience is. You patiently wait for price to get to your area of interest. You patiently wait while you're in that trade to see the outcome. Will it hit my stop loss? Will it hit my take profit? While you are waiting and as price is moving, you can be managing your trades appropriately because you need to manage your trades. Very key. And Chukwando said, I hope to become great. Yes, you will. Keep at it. I hope to become best. Yes, you can. Keep at it. And more disciplined onward. Yes, you can. Keep at it. Keep at it. The more you do the same thing, the more it becomes part of you, right? So the more patient you are, the more it becomes you. And then the more disciplined you are, the more it becomes you. That's patience and discipline. It's within, time. It's all about consistency. The moment you can do something over and over and over again, 1 month, 3 months, and you're disciplined with it, it becomes part of you. Okay, then Mr. John Adebayo said 1 hour. Okay, so let me switch this to the 1 hour. Let's switch this to the 1 hour time frame. So you can see the 1 hour. So the same thing as we said not too long ago. I believe probably you are selling. Am I correct? If you are selling here, let us know in this area here. Because this is what I can see that might have caused a loss. But if you were buying, it's going up. Maybe your stop loss was too tight. And if you are selling, right, from this point where we are just mapped out, you're selling here in this area, obviously your stop loss would have been higher, right? And you have gotten knocked out. Now, if you are selling, please do not even be alarmed. Do not feel that your strategy is not working. It is not all trades that will work. I repeat, it is not all trades that will work. Where you are now, the stage where you are, you're still doing, some experiments and all, right? You're still testing some things to find out which one works best for you, if you ask me. So this area was a good area. Here, you can see support, you can see resistance, bunch of resistance here, another resistance here. So you're expecting this one to act as resistance. There's no problem in that. But the market has, its own, idea or thought process what it wants to do. Okay, you said selling. So yeah, I already saw that most likely you were selling here. That's why I was saying selling before you even typed it out, right? So if you are selling here, trust me, it is still a good, trade that you took by your books. If your stop loss was above here, you got knocked out, it's still a good management by my books as well. Just make sure you continue to stick to your rules, your trading plan that is, and then also have a trading journal. Trading journal, very, very important. I can't stress it enough. But when you have a trading journal, it is going to help you to what? It's going to help you tremendously to keep records of your trades. And you go back and look at the trades that you kept record of, and then they will help you to what? They will help you to even understand much, much better the trades that you took, why those trades, some of them, why they worked, while the others failed. So that the ones that worked, you take note of them and look out for those ones more. And the ones that did not work, the ones that failed, right, you take a look as well and see if there was any trade you were not supposed to take, and then start to avoid them in the future. Of course, there will be some trades that you take based on your rules, based on your plan and all, that will still end up in losses. I always tell traders every week I have losses, but every week too, I tend to have winners. So the little winners I have, I let them run. They are runners. This is the runners, I repeat, this is the runners that will keep you in profit at the end of the day. Guys, we're going to round it up within the next 1-2 minutes, right? Because of our time. And obviously we did not come on time. But at the same time, we will be sticking to our own time, right? So it's not a thing of, people come late and then we must finish late. No, right? And I always say that if you paid for a session, of course, you'll be there early. You wouldn't want it to waste, right? So now, before we round up, just like to always ask 1 or 2 questions. Today is TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. First of all, make sure, guys, you get some rest this week. You need to rest. Why do you need to rest? I always tell people rest even during the day. So why do we need rest? We need rest for our brains. Our brains need to recoup because we are working our brains too much. That's why if you notice during the day, some people or we at times we could work our brains so much that when it is time to sleep, it's difficult to sleep because your brain is still working. Your brain is still calculating, your brain is still doing some simulations up there. But then that rest in between is very good. So we try as much as possible not to over stress the brain. So good to rest this weekend. Please make sure you do that. And then also spend some time looking at the charts, what happened this week as your own review, as your own roundup for the market week. And then also do your markets against next week so that next week you don't have to do too many markets on the chart. These are things I normally do. I do this. There's no weekend that I can remember that I did not look at the charts. Not look at the chart because, oh, I want to trade now. No, look at the chart with respect to the week. So I understand the last week. That will help me for next week. Help me to avoid losses and all, right? So now, guys, before we close this platform, right, if there's anything that you guys would like to see more of from 10 Trade, do let us know. If it's a challenge, if it's this, if it's X, if it's Y, if it's whatever the case might be, more live trading sessions, let's know. Is it London session? Is it New York? Is it Sydney or Tokyo? You know, Sydney, Tokyo obviously will be the time they were sleeping. Or whatever the case is, let us know. Some of us might be in Nigeria. Some of us might not be in Nigeria. Somebody's just joining us now when we're rounding up. Don't really know what to say to Mr. Solomon Musa. We're rounding up now. Let us know what you guys feel we can do for you. And then also, if you guys are interested in the Signals group, there's a Signals Telegram group, right? There's a Signal Telegram group, and there's a one-on-one 30-minute session that you can attend. The Signal Telegram group is you funding $100 that will make you eligible to attend that. And then we have the one-on-one 30-minute session that you could have with myself, where we'd sit down one-on-one on Zoom, and both of us will be talking. You notice that I'm the only one that has been talking, right, as the instructor, facilitator, right? But during the one-on-one, both of us will be talking, we'll be rubbing minds majorly on your own trading. We'll give you tips and tricks. We help you to look for issues, and of course, give you the possible solutions to them. So, bottom line said, can you brief us on the prop service with 10 Trade? I'm going to do that in 30 seconds. We did that earlier this week. I think that was Monday or Tuesday. So you could go over to the YouTube channel. We always say the YouTube channel has all the information there for you. So go over to the YouTube channel, right? And then go and watch it. It will give you all the information. This is the link for the YouTube channel. So as you said, brief means very short, obviously. So as a brief, the prop service, which is the funded trader program, is simply where you can get more funds to trade with. You get funds allocated to you, and for you to be able to get eligible to get funds, right? You're going to fill a form that asks you details about your strategy, the type of trader that you are, how you look at your risk. Because for 10 Trade to be allocating funds to you like a prop firm, of course, prop firms are big when it comes to risk, right? So we ask some questions, and then peradventure you qualify for you to have, whether it's the bronze, there are different packages, bronze, silver, gold, and the rest, about 5 packages there that you could take advantage of. The first one, I believe, is $10,000 that you can start working with. Then the next one, $30,000, 90,000, 270, and then the ultimate one is $500,000 that you can get. But for you to get them, you need to register, and you're going to pay money for them. I believe the $10,000, it's $300 for you to register with. What's the name? The next one, 30,000, I believe, is about is it $900 or $800, right? It's on the website. It's on the video that we did recording of this week for confirmation. So basically, the rules, the terms and conditions attached to them mean that you must hit 10% within the space of 60 days. You must get to 10% of the money allocated to you, and then there will be profit sharing of you. We take 70%, and then 10 Trade takes 30%. So you take a bigger chunk of that. So go on with the videos, and that would be helpful. Chikoto said more live trading session will be appreciated, sir. Okay, noted on that. I am Uchechuku said, boss, please drop its number. Its number. What do you understand by, is it IT? IT's number? Do you have issues with your laptop or phone? You need IT's number. Drop its number. Which it? Or is it a human being you're calling it? So I don't know what you mean by its number. Your number, sorry. Aha. Because I know I'm not it. It is used for tables and chairs and all. Okay, no problem. Let me drop my number now. You guys can chat me up. My phone was even ringing. My phone was on silent, but it was ringing. So if you're calling, I can't pick. Most likely I'm in one session or the other. After this session, I'm going to have to rest. I've been talking for approximately 1 hour thereabout. So I tend to drink some water after and rest. So I would prefer you chat me up, right? And then I always tell traders as well, I am not in the country, right? I'm presently in Canada. I always inform you. So we need to be mindful of the time zone difference. For me now, if you ask me, my time now where I am is about 6:12 a.m. Yes, it's very early in the morning. Yes, quite all right. So be mindful of that. So that's my number. You can chat me up on WhatsApp. Let's know if you need anything, any assistance. Let's know how we can help you, whether it's the signals you're interested in attending, getting connected to the signals Telegram. That one is a minimum of $100, or if it's the what's the name? If it's the 30 minutes one-on-one session for 30 minutes, let's know. You need to fund your account. Fund your account with a minimum of $500. Or if it's even if it's a private session, training, or whatever the case might be, let's know. Century, we want to know how we can help you out because you want to make money. For you to make money, you need to trade. You need to fund your account with live money, real money, and not trading the demo money, demo account. Demo account, you make demo money, you can't withdraw, you cannot spend it, you cannot do anything. So you still need, it's a thing of need. You still need to what? Still need to trade properly on the live account, right? So with that said, I want to say thank you. I'm going to stop the recording now so it's not too lengthy for you to watch again this week.